Shut up and sit down.
Right, as you can see, we've been running a bit of fibre optic. What I've got is I have a fair bit of tubing and the remainders of me reel of fibre optic cable. What this is a really fine light tube, and what you do is you slide the black tube in onto the LED tube, cut it with a pair of scissors, and then drop that on the very front of the LED with a tad of super glue, and you can run a nice fibre optic up the wing. So what we've got is we've got two really tiny tubes. Let's have a look just to see if I've got something dark to rest that against for you. Not perfect, dodgy old bit of sponge, but as you can see, one is going to be the nav light there, and the other one is the strobe, and then they run all the way down the wing, bit of Tamiya tape out through the little hole, and then that will go into the fuselage of the plane with the black tubing on the relevant ends. So I've got two of those. I've got one, as you can see, a little bit of super glue just sticking in there, and that, I'm not sure whether it's going to pick it up actually. Go on. There you go. May look a little messy, but there's two holes drilled in, channels made in the wing, and then I've gone in with a little borer on the tip of my Dremel and just made a little cavity, dropped these two tubes in, and then filled it up with super glue, which is still dry, and hence why I'm sticking to everything. But anywho, that's that. I've also just dropped in the tail fins, letting them set. Tiny little bit of plastic putty along the seam. Excuse me. And also started off my Hedgehog, a few parts of the jet engine in primer, ready to be filled, sanded. Same with the landing gear, and obviously the centre landing gear. And the reason I've built that up at this stage is because this will go on the cover, and I need to just make sure that this cover is doing everything that I want it to do. It goes like so, and this is the removable cover to get into where the battery compartment is. And as you can see, there's a tiny little hole that I've drilled, because in the real plane you have a little strobe that comes down right at the bottom of the plane into the landing gear. So again, I'll be making a tiny tube. And what I'll do on that one is I'm going to cover the whole tube with this, because what will happen is when I go to change the batteries, this will come down, and hopefully once that's all in place and glued in place, it'll be a bit more substantial when I drop this down with the weight of the landing gear on than just a standard piece of fibre optic tubing. Because what I don't want to happen is I don't want it to snap, because knowing my luck, and with these clumsy 10-pounder sausages hands that I'm lumbered with, is I'll basically totally disintegrate the LEDs. And then I'll jump up and down, throw my teddy bears out, give it a boo-hoo and a wibble, and have to start all over again. So I've got to play with this a little bit more. I've been thinking about it, scratching my head, just as well got no air. Yeah, like I say, I've drilled the pilot hole ready. I might even run it along the side here and tape it, but the problem is it's going to be under tension. As soon as I pop that up inside the fuselage, if I've got the tube under tension, it might snap again. So I'm thinking of having the coil loop up here out of the way, so that then all I've got to do is pop the panel like so. It will then hang down on the tube whilst I drop the compartment out, and then I just whiz bang it straight back in the hole. Hate the seams, I must admit. They're really playing havoc with my OCD. Quite a large seam, as you can see, but deft a bit of filling. I've got some A4 sheets of styrene, so I could probably make a lip that goes right the way around the edge just to disappear the seam, and then edge fill it with a bit of putty. Sand it all smooth so that this then sits in a nice little rebate. And you know, that's all the fettling and finishing and all of that. So, told you I knock everything flying. See, that lot's just gone flying. Big pile of knives, harpooning me feet. 10 pence for the swear box, and I'll let you say it. Right. I've also got these tiny little bits. Let's put them on a sponge as well for you. Now these, you're probably scratching your noggin and thinking, what the hell are they? What they are is the landing lights, and they come out through this opening in the wing, like that. Yeah? See? Well, that's how they come with a kit. About as much use as a chocolate teapot. Well, what I want to do is in here, I'm either going to drill a microscopic hole and run the LED tubing through it, or I'll put a piece of black tube around it and super glue it to the end. But I then want to run another LED tube through here and have the landing light bulb sat in the fuselage, sending the light down, and then when I heat shrink that with black tubing, which, just like Blue Peter, there's one I prepared earlier, so a bit of heat shrink. What I'm hoping is, if you can imagine, I've already join the LEDs, that I'll then slide that over everything like so. Yeah, warm it up. This will all then shrink down and bond to the LED tube, and then when that's in there and I whop on the old nav lights, we'll then have two really bright nav lights coming out of there, and it'll look, I think, seriously sexy. The theory's alright, the practicality is another thing. But I might do the first one off camera so that my contribution to the swear box isn't aired, or I'll overdub some music just so that I don't embarrass myself with my choice words. I think it's really going to add a nice bit of detail to it. You know, for the scale, people could say it's overkill. I don't think so. I think there's room in there. Why go to all of this and have really detailed lighting on the tips of the wings and not bother with the landing lights? Which then leads me on to my next thought, which is, I've noticed on 747s they have a very tiny landing light right at the front there. Now I'm really tempted to try my damnedest to get an LED down there, but part of me thinks I might just be trying a bit too hard, because I don't know whether it's going to have the flex. I don't know whether it's going to look right, but part of me just says do it. But it's tiny. It really is tiny, and I don't know. I don't want to damage the landing gear, as you can see. It's so small. Am I going to be able to get a keyboard, paint? So I don't mean put a keyboard or paint through it. It's just that they're in the way at the moment because I've not cleared up after myself. I've got to get that somehow as near on that landing gear as possible. I don't know if you can see that. Now part of me says go each side, drill up through here and bring it down, but again I don't know whether there's enough flex in this stuff to do it. I'll have a go. You know, I'll have a go, see what we can achieve. If it works, it works, top job. If it don't, hey, what have I lost? Not a lot. Don't know. I'm really tempted to have a go at that. Let me know. So what do you think? Answers on a postcard with a donation to Uncle Fester at. So that is pretty much where I've got to at this stage. Detail and more detail. But I just really think that might be worth a punt. Certainly these. I'm certainly going to like them. But then I'm thinking, I could like the jets, and I'll just stick to the nav lights on this one, and go with all the afterburners and everything on Concord, because that's a larger scale. I think that'll work, because I'm going to struggle to get LEDs in there, in the back of the jets. Might work. We'll see. Excuse my really dodgy filling. Method to my madness. I'd rather have more on there than less. But that is beginning to bond quite nicely in there. And if I can find the other half of the wing, which is just off of camera, as you can see, plenty of that in there. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Absolute mint. And that's going to sit nice and tight like that. Oh, jump up and down, dancing a jig, happy days. Get in there. I think we're well away on that. Lovely.